Steve Jobs wasn't just a man, he was an experience. A dreamer, a disruptor, a perfectionist, and sometimes a nightmare to work with. He could be both brutally harsh and deeply inspiring, often within the same conversation. Walter Isaacson, the brilliant biographer who also chronicled Einstein and Benjamin Franklin, spent years interviewing Jobs, his family, his colleagues, and even his rivals, to bring us the most complete picture of Jobs ever written. This biography isn't a sanitized fairy tale. It's a raw, human story of brilliance mixed with flaws, victories born out of failures, and a vision so powerful it changed how the world thinks about technology. By the end of this summary, you'll walk away with 15 unforgettable lessons on leadership, creativity, resilience, and life itself. Lessons you can apply whether you're building a company, leading a team, or just trying to live with more purpose. So let's step into the extraordinary, sometimes chaotic, and always fascinating world of Steve Jobs. Lesson 1. Follow your curiosity relentlessly. Jobs dropped out of college but refused to stop learning. He explored calligraphy, Zen Buddhism, and even psychedelics, all of which shaped his worldview. What seemed like wasted time became the fuel for Apple's elegant design language and his obsession with simplicity. His curiosity made him unpredictable, creative, and original. The lesson? Trust your curiosities, because one day, they might connect into a masterpiece. Lesson 2. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Jobs believed simplicity was not about doing less, but about removing the unnecessary until only brilliance remained. He stripped products to their essence. The iPod had one wheel, the iPhone had one button, and even Apple stores had a cathedral-like simplicity. This clarity of design made Apple products feel timeless. For Jobs, simplicity wasn't just aesthetics, it was truth. And in life, simplicity is often what makes your ideas stand out. Lesson 3. Obsession creates excellence. Jobs could be unbearable to work with. He rejected dozens of prototypes, yelled at teams, and demanded what seemed impossible. But behind that intensity was an obsession with perfection. He cared about the color of circuit boards, the feel of packaging, and the tiniest details most people would ignore. His obsession created products that were not just good, but revolutionary. The lesson is clear. Greatness requires a level of care that others may call crazy. Lesson 4. The reality distortion field is real. Jobs was famous for bending reality. He refused to accept limitations and forced others to see possibility where they only saw impossibility. Engineers who swore something couldn't be done later achieved it because Jobs simply wouldn't take no for an answer. His belief became contagious. The takeaway? Sometimes, leadership means demanding the impossible, because that's where breakthroughs happen. Lesson 5. Failure is a stepping stone, not the end. Jobs was fired from Apple in 1985, humiliated and rejected by the company he built. But that failure led him to create Next and to nurture Pixar into a cultural giant. When he returned to Apple, he came back wiser and sharper, ready to lead a second golden age. His greatest products came after his biggest defeat. This shows us that failure is not a dead end, it's a detour toward reinvention. Lesson 6. Blend art with technology. Jobs believed the magic happens at the intersection of technology and the humanities. He wanted Apple products to be not just powerful machines, but works of art. This marriage created devices that felt human, emotional, and beautiful. Pixar movies carried that same DNA, art and science coming together. The lesson? True innovation happens when you connect worlds that don't normally meet. Lesson 7. Storytelling is more powerful than specs. Jobs didn't sell computers or phones. He sold stories, emotions, and dreams. His product launches felt like theater, with suspense, drama, and climactic reveals. Ads like "Think Different" weren't about technical specs, but about identity and creativity. He made people feel part of something bigger. The lesson is simple. People may forget the numbers, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Lesson 8. Embrace brutal honesty. Jobs wasn't afraid to be blunt. He could call an idea garbage to your face, even if it crushed you. But his honesty forced people to improve or leave. He cut through politeness to reach the truth faster. While his style was extreme, it teaches a lesson. Honesty, when paired with vision, drives people to higher standards. Sugarcoating never built an iPhone. Lesson 9. Build a culture that reflects your values. Jobs didn't just want to make products. He wanted Apple to have a soul. He built teams that embodied his obsession with excellence, creativity, and simplicity. He was ruthless in removing those who didn't align with the culture. And over time, Apple became more than a company, it became an identity. The reminder for us is this: organizations mirror their leaders. If you want excellence, build it into the culture. Lesson 10. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Jobs ended his Stanford commencement speech with these words. To him, it meant never settling, always seeking new horizons, and daring to be different. He constantly reinvented himself, moving from computers to music, to phones, to digital animation. Staying hungry meant never being satisfied, and staying foolish meant taking risks that others called crazy. This mindset fueled his creativity until the very end. Lesson 11. Design is how it works, not just how it looks. Jobs hated the idea that design was just decoration. For him, design was about function meeting beauty. He wanted products that worked seamlessly and felt natural to use. A product wasn't complete unless it solved problems elegantly. That's why Apple devices feel like extensions of ourselves. The lesson? Don't just make things pretty, make them work beautifully. Lesson 12. Protect the user experience at all costs. Jobs was fiercely protective of the end-to-end user experience. That's why Apple products were famously closed, hardware, software, and ecosystem all controlled under one roof. He believed compromise diluted excellence. Every decision was made with the user in mind, from the curve of a laptop to the interface on a screen. His obsession with control created magic. The lesson: if you want to delight people, obsess over every detail of their journey. Lesson 13. Surround yourself with A players. Jobs believed that A players hire A players, while B players hire C players. He only wanted the best talent around him, even if they clashed with him. He pushed people to their limits because he believed they could rise to the occasion. He knew that excellence is contagious. The lesson here is timeless. Your team defines your results. Choose people who challenge and elevate you. Lesson 14. Innovation is about saying no. Jobs famously said, "Innovation is saying no to 1,000 things." He believed focus was more powerful than endless expansion. Apple killed features, cut products, and streamlined relentlessly to perfect the essentials. This discipline created clarity and brilliance. The lesson? Don't chase everything. Say no to distractions so you can say yes to what truly matters. Lesson 15. Mortality gives urgency to life. Jobs admitted that remembering he would die was the most powerful motivator in his life. His cancer diagnosis only intensified this mindset. He refused to waste time on things that didn't matter. Every day became a chance to create something lasting. For him, mortality was not fear, it was fuel. The takeaway? Life is short. Don't delay your boldest dreams. Steve Jobs' life was messy, intense, and inspiring. Walter Isaacson's biography doesn't glorify him, it humanizes him. Jobs was brilliant, but flawed. Harsh, but visionary. Difficult, but unforgettable. And through it all, he left us lessons on curiosity, simplicity, obsession, storytelling, and legacy. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 15 lessons speaks to you the most? Is it the obsession with detail, the courage to fail, or the reminder that death makes life urgent? This is the Summary Shelf, where books come alive and give you lessons that stick. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another summary. Trust me, the next book we cover might just change the way you see the world.